This Dogman sighting comes out of Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, from November the 17th of 2012. The witness states that it was about 2 a.m. and that he was hunting deer or wild hogs at night, that he knows it's not legal to hunt at night, that he was on a protection levee system that was built to protect the town from hurricane floodwaters. Now he says as he walked along the levee that it turned to the left, where there was a canal and woods about 100 yards from some homes, and to the left was a natural ridge that goes out into the swamps and marshes. He says as he went to the left, turning from the oak trees, that he heard a growl. He says at the time that he thought it was a coyote or a dog. So he started walking a little slower so to hear if it came closer. Then he says he heard brush and smaller trees being shaken, and then another growl came. So he shined his light into the direction from where the growl came, when he saw a pair of eyes reflecting amber and yellow colors. What surprised him was the fact that the brush was about 6 foot high, with the eyes being about a foot higher than that. Now he says that when he saw the eyes, that he slowly began to back up, while keeping his light focused on them. As he walked back to the turn, so he could get back to his truck, which was parked about 3/4 of a mile away at this point. This is when the creature came out of the woods. He says that he lit this thing up with his light. Now he was only about 30 feet away from the creature and was able to get a very good look at it. That he saw the whole body and face. The body was covered with black hair, with some dark brown mixed in as well. The hair was thickest at around the neck, head, and chest areas, with the upper back as well was covered with hair. It looked like a lion's mane, but not as pronounced. The creature had pointy ears with just a little hair coming off the tips, kind of making the ears look a little longer than they were. It stood on 2 legs, but they were weird looking, almost backwards looking at them. The creature's arms were really long. He would even say longer than the legs, while its hands were like a mixture of humans and bears maybe, or maybe a very large raccoon's front paw. Why he says this is that he saw pads on a paw, but fingers like that of a human or human-like. Now this is the only way he knows how to describe the creature's hands. He says if you ever watched the movie Howling, then you can get an idea of what this thing looked like. The creature looked like that in a way, he said. He also says that whoever made that movie might have known about these creatures at the time. Now he says at this point he was freaking out. So he pulled up his rifle. Now he says he had a Romanian AK with him, saying he used this gun at night because it's not exactly legal to hunt this way, and that if he had to toss it, he wouldn't be out as much money, saying that the rounds were special designed to hunt for hogs that he was using, and that he has shot deer and hogs with these. They're usually down in one shot, he says. Now with his gun at the ready, the creature growled and took a few steps towards him. He fired a round right into its chest, he says. He also says that he knows that he hit it because the creature took a step backwards. He ran at this point, heading to his truck. Now this is when the witness says that it let out a very loud growl. and a howl like he had never heard before. He says he grew up hunting and fishing and that he thought he knew everything in the woods, but he had never heard the sound that this creature was making. He says as he was running back to his truck, he could hear this creature stalking him, but staying at a distance. But once he made it to the lighted area where his truck was parked, he didn't see or hear it again. He says he's tried to find anyone who might know more or had a similar encounter. He says that he's asked his grandpa about what he saw, but not as himself, but saying that a friend of his had it happen to him, and that it sounded crazy to him, but what did his grandpa think? He says that his grandfather told him a story, that when he was 17, that he was out hunting in that area, that he had heard some of the weird sounds and howls, and that something had stalked him there, but he never got to see it. The witness says while trying to find more information on this creature, he did come across something called a rougarou, which has a few stories out there, but he's just not convinced it's the same creature he saw. This encounter has changed his life. He says that his perception of what is real and what's not will never be the same again. He says he still hasn't gotten over it and don't know if he ever will. So what do you think he saw that night? Was it a dogman, a werewolf, or a rougarou? Drop me a comment down below and let me know. This dogman sighting comes out of Woodford County, Illinois. The witness says he lives in rural Illinois and that he has been experiencing strange activity and noises around his house for a couple of months now. Then one night his dog woke him around 4 a.m. in the morning, and that his dog was really acting up, like she wanted to go out, so he got up to let her out. Now he says that before he let his dog out, that he turned on the back floodlight. Then he peered out through the mini blinds. Now he says he did this because he had a weird feeling. Maybe his dog wasn't acting right, or was it something else giving him this feeling? Now as he looked into the backyard, he noticed something about 75 feet away from him. It was a wolf, dog, man-like thing. It was standing upright on two legs. Just seemed to be looking at his back door. He says that the creature he saw had a proportionally large head, while having pointed ears on top. The witness also says he noticed an amber-colored eyeshine, stating that its head was canine in appearance, kind of like a German shepherd or even a wolf's head, he stated. Now it had broad, strong-looking shoulders, and that he was able to see its deltoid muscles. He also noticed that the creature's torso was sunken in towards its abdomen, just like a dog's would be. He also says that the creature didn't seem to have a neck, and with the large head, that this creature leaned at around 60 degrees or so. It had thick quad muscles in the front of its thighs that angled forward and tapered down to its small knees. He says this creature's lower legs angled back to hocks, just like a dog's, and that it looked like the creature could lean back on them if it wanted to, so it could leap and jump if needed. He got the impression that this creature could run and jump very well if it needed to. Now the witness says after a few moments of looking at his back door that the creature slowly turned and walked back into the cornfield that's behind his house, stating that the corn stood about 8 feet and that the creature's head was right at the top of it, saying that as the creature was walking away, that he could still see the top of its head over the corn. So what do you think this witness saw? This Dogman sighting comes out of Oxford County, Maine, from the year 2001. The witness says that she is somewhat of a night owl, that she always stays up late watching TV. When she just happened to look out the window one night and saw what she thought was a man on a roof. I thought that it was a man at first because it looked to be naked until the witness noticed hair and fur on it. Then it turned its head and she saw its face. It wasn't a man's face, but what she saw was frightening at the least. The creature had pointed ears like a dog's, but also had a long snout. She says that the ears reminded her of a German shepherd's ears. The witness was frightened and shaken up. She just could not understand what she was looking at. She says that she just stared at the creature for a few minutes and that she was afraid to move, not wanting this thing to see her. It just sat there on its butt, not moving. She could see its arms and legs, which resembled humans, but with hair and fur all over them. She says after a few minutes she slowly backed off from the window and went to tell her husband. She states that he didn't want to get up to look, saying that he thought she was crazy. When she went back to the window to look for it again, the creature was gone. She says at the time of the sighting she had no idea what she was looking at, that she only ever told her husband and kids what she had seen. This creature has haunted her for many years now, until one day she was telling her grandkids what she had seen. She says one of her grandkids got onto the computer and pulled up some pictures and stories of other sightings. She says that until then she never even knew that other people had seen these creatures. She didn't know they existed for many, many years, she says. It was so scary looking at the pictures and knowing she had seen it. Before it was real, at least to her, this sighting was almost 20 years ago. So what do you think this woman saw that night? Drop me a comment down below and let me know. That's it for this video. So till next time, stay safe and have a great week. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you can keep up with all of our latest videos. And thanks for watching those endless mysteries.